Hi and welcome to Survival Gear List video series. Today I'm going to talk about water because it's one of the most important things that you need to store in your preparations. So you can see here I have three different kinds of water storage, from bottled water to a small container to a 15-gallon barrel. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what the needs are for water. And if you live in the West, you know we're going through a major drought so far this year, and we're already past the first quarter. We've only had 3 inches of rain the entire year. So if something does happen, it's not like we can just get water out of our gutters or other places, because there really just isn't any water anymore. So you better store it and have it available in case there is an emergency. So first off is, a lot of people think we're just going to store some bottled water. Well, those hold 16.9 ounces. If you do the math, there's 128 ounces in a gallon. So you need about 7.5 of those bottles to just make up 1 gallon of water. And wisdom is that you need 1 gallon of water per person per day. So if you have a family of 4, 2 kids and a wife and you, so you're going to need up to 90 bottles of water just for 3 days, and that's only 3 days worth of water. That's really not enough. The middle one is a 7-gallon container. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them online at different camping stores, Amazon. And the one thing I like about this is it's small. You can move it around, but it also has a spigot on the inside. So you can take it camping and you got some water. Also, I have these at my in-laws' house and up on a shelf. And if there is ever an emergency, I know that they have at least a little bit of water, and it's easy to use with the spigot. The next is this 15-gallon barrel of water that I keep out on the patio. And one of the things I like about this is it's easier to transport and refill than some of the bigger barrels of water barrels that are available. You can see here I just put it on a little dolly. So if you do the math to understand how much these weigh, water weighs 8.33 pounds per gallon. So at 7 gallons here, this thing weighs 58 pounds when full. The 15-gallon barrel weighs 125 pounds when full. A 33-gallon barrel weighs 275 pounds full of water. And they also make 50-gallon barrels, and that weighs 416 pounds. So it's not like something you're going to be able to move around, or your wife can move around very easily. That's why I like these 15-gallon barrels. They're very easy to transport. You can kind of roll them on their bottom. Or you can also put a little dolly like this on them and just wheel them inside. Or if you have them in your basement and you need to replace the water, you can get them up the stairs relatively easily versus a 33-gallon barrel at 275 pounds. But if you do live somewhere where you need to store more water than just what we have here, there is a way to do it, and I'll show you next. Okay, now I'm going to show you where else you have some emergency supply of water in your house, apartment, or condo, or wherever you live, and it's basically your water heater. So your water heater obviously is storing a large amount of water unless you have one of those instant hot water heaters. This one, you can check the side of your hot water heater. This one holds 50 gallons. So I have an extra 50 gallons of water that's available besides what I already store. And it's pretty easy to access if you've never done it. This is the valve that can drain your hot water heater, and basically you can just take that off. I pre-loosened it. I needed this first, so you better make sure you have a wrench around that you can take that off with, because it was on there a little tight. And then what I have is a hose that you can get online at Amazon or go to Walmart, and it's made specifically for drinking water, and it just screws on. And I'm not going to bore you with screwing that all the way on. It just screws on, and you pull this down and release the water. Now, caution, that water is going to come out. It's going to be very, very hot. So it's something that you want to probably drain into a bucket and then let it cool before you attempt to drink it. Also, if you've never drained a hot water heater before, there's going to be a lot of sediment in it. And I would probably only do it in emergency if you've never drained your hot water heater before. This hot water heater is over 10 years old. relatively new to this house, so I'm not going to go and drain it because I don't know what it's going to do to it and I don't want to ruin it. So everything's working just fine. I just leave it, but in emergency I know I can tap into about 50 gallons of additional water. So it's pretty simple. If you live in an apartment and you don't have a lot of place for water, you can get one of those 15-gallon barrels and put it on your patio and replace the water. Probably, some people say 6 months. I let it go a year and replace it every year. And then also, if you know you got to find your hot water heater, find the valve for it, get a hose, keep it nearby, and then you have an additional source of water in a case of emergency. Well, I hope you learned something here, and thanks. And go see my website at survivalgearlist.com.